So I think right now we can officially begin because I have started recording. So good morning, Elizabeth.
Top of the morning to you. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm perfectly well. And you?
Good. I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. So let's shake a leg and go straight forward to the point that we're supposed to talk. Today, we're going to have a friendly conversation, and allied with that, we're going to share our experience of working as a professional teacher in Turkey. So I wonder if you could start by sharing your background. By background, I mean specifically and mainly your background of teaching and working here in Turkey, private schools, currently university. How did you apply for these positions? And if you start making a comparison or discrimination between these two or three, what are the differences? When
Okay.
did you move to Turkey?
All right. Thank you so very much. Firstly, thanks for having me here.
My pleasure.
I came to Turkey in 2016, shortly after the completion of my PhD at the University of Ilorin. Sorry, I meant the completion of my master's. I'm talking to you about my recently completed PhD.
Yeah.
So sorry about that. I meant
Okay.
2016 was the completion of my master's degree in linguistics. So I just was curious. How is it like to teach someone who doesn't speak English? I'm from an English-speaking country, by the way. I'm Nigerian.
No.
And our medium of education is English. General communication is English. So I just wondered, okay, I have been taught for 2 years master's, of course, 4 years bachelor's of art in linguistics, the art of English language pedagogy, which is the art of teaching in English. So I wondered, and as you can tell, I'm super energetic as a teacher. I have been teaching as a language assistant on the university campus, helping my professors to go attend to their classes. So to me, it's normal. I'm going to a class to teach someone that speaks English. It doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah.
All right. So out of my curiosity, I started applying for jobs, international job opportunities. I got 2 offers, one to teach English in Colombia and the second offer to teach English in Turkey. And I'm like, okay.
All right. Can I ask a question? So you have received 2 offers, one from Colombia, the other one from Turkey. So it means you applied for these positions.
Yes, I did.
Was there any other country that you have considered of taking the adventure of working as a freelance teacher over there?
No, because I was just strictly out of the university, straight out of master's, first time experience traveling abroad.
Okay,
so
wonderful.
I was
Then why,
not.
Because I want to clarify for our friends, why Turkey? Why not, for instance, Colombia?
Okay, yeah. Before you cut me in, let me just continue what happened with that. So just barely post 10 years. So in first travel experience as an African girl. So my search was limited. Just my computer and like English teaching jobs abroad.
Yeah.
And like, so the moment I saw Turkey, the first thing I saw was the Blue Mosque. It looks exactly, if you Google and search University of Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria, we have right at the campus entrance from the fountain, you would see that same mosque, something like that. So it caught my attention and I was curious, like, oh, I see this every day. I mean, for 4 years of my first degree and 2 years of master's, 6 years on campus, I see this mosque every day. So where is this country? I saw the Blue Mosque of Istanbul. So that caught my interest. I felt this sense of safety because obviously in Nigeria, we have both Christians and Muslims. Of course, the ruling government is Islam. So I'm used to that. My friends are Muslims. I've lived with Hijabian sisters for 6 years. So I'm comfortable. So that made me pursue further with that option.
I can say I'm surprised because I would think of considering the religious background of a country as the last option to be considered.
No, it's
and instantly people go for, I don't know, work-life balance, the amount of income that you can make, I don't know, how to socialize, nightlife, cost of living, then religious issue. But apparently yours was quite vice versa and opposite.
It's the vice versa. When I presented the 2 offers to my mom, who is a university professor in Nigeria, she said, huh, Colombia? Never. They
I
do
see.
drugs, you know, so that's the
Yeah, I
stereotype.
see.
Yeah. But when I said Istanbul, she's like, oh, aren't there Muslims there? Oh, Muslims are peaceful.
Okay.
That was the idea.
So now let's jump into the profession. All right.
Yes.
So finally, you grit your teeth to move to Turkey. Wonderful.
And no regrets.
And talk about
Till
the
date.
early steps.
Yes. Still 2016, right? Yes.
All right. So still 2016. So the initial steps that you took to find positions and jobs.
Yes.
Did you decide to work as a freelancer or no?
No. I came in through Isaac. Have you ever heard of them?
Yes.
Isaac?
Yes.
Yes. They are everywhere. As a matter of fact, my older brother went through Isaac to Amsterdam.
Oh,
so yes. So I came through Isaac, and which was good for me. My success story is based on Isaac, because my curiosity was just, how is it like? It's a student exchange program in your area of specialization. So when I applied, because I'm a member of Isaac, right from my university days in Nigeria. So when I told them about this teaching offer, and they're like, of course we can. There are tons of English teachers needed in Turkey, Istanbul. Yeah. And since you personally said you're interested in going, let's set up with some employers, do some Zoom meetings, do the interview. They send you the necessary things, the stages, and if you pass it, of course, the processes of invitation continues. Paperwork, so paperwork and documentations and embassy visits continues. So I did not regret that, because it was more like, you know, my teaching methodology was basically for English speakers. Wonderful. So that was the start. So Isaac was good for me. When I came, I had to adapt. I was taught the act of teaching speakers of other languages. Yeah. So that I know which methodology fits them. Wonderful. And as far as I remember, once you told me that you have the experience of teaching in many other cities in Anatolian side of Turkey, not necessarily Istanbul. Yeah. I mean, I moved to Istanbul 2019. All right. Okay, let me just brief it up for you. Sure. Please. So from 2016 with Isaac, I came to Antakya Hatay. Antakya Hatay. I remember on the plane, I wasn't sleeping. I was just going through a whole lot of, I mean, Istanbul, not Istanbul, Turkey generally, it's a magnificent country. I mean, I was seeing this Antioch. The city is still called Antioch till date. That was what I was reading on Google on my phone throughout the plane, throughout the flight. I already learned the language. I was eager to tell the hostess, Merhaba. Merhaba, Benim Elizabeth. And they were like, okay, it's my first trip, right? So I'm a Christian, I'm not Muslim. But when I still saw the cultural preservation, I flew to Istanbul to Antakya, Hatay. That was my flight. So when I saw it, so the first place I went was to that monument. It's the place where Christians were first called Christians, Antioch. Till date, the name is still the biblical Antioch. So I love that cultural preservation. The ruins and everything is still preserved. So like, for 3 years, fantastic. For 3 years, 2016 yes, to 2019? To 2017, I was in Antakya Hatay. And then? And then my result was approved. Okay. I had, because I had the intention after the completion of my master's, the next month I flew to Istanbul, but of course they had to process my results. I had the intention of registering immediately for a PhD, but if I don't pass, I can't. I need to go for MPhil. So when my results came out and I was told I had more than 60%, so I had to fly back to Nigeria and register for my PhD in 2017. So that was like a little gap year. So I went, but guess what? I came back because from Isaac, I found a school. Who just invited me, paid for my flight tickets. I mean, the hospitality of Turkey, they're so welcoming. Even on the video, I remember they showed me the accommodation. It's a 2-bedroom apartment, unshared, just for me. So that made me come back again. I mean, you put me on Turkish Airlines. Before I arrived, you're showing me the apartment. I can say, Elizabeth, you're one of those lucky ones. Yeah, so I flew
Because
back.
all these services to have been granted, let's say all these services. But now let's make our conversation a bit closer to the
Yeah.
current time that we are in.
Yeah, now
Uh,
2019, Istanbul. Yeah.
exactly. So you came back to Istanbul.
Yes,
Well,
but
it
not
has
to a
been 2
school.
years that you're working as a university teacher.
Yes, yes. Before then.
I think it started from 2021 or
Yes,
2020, if I'm
yes,
not
yes.
mistaken.
That's right.
So what about those 2 years?
2019, my 2019, a year, right? Of course, after that school, which was still in Antakya, right? So I have to obviously do a follow-up with my PhD, data collection, because my data collection was right in Nigeria. So I fly back and come back. So I remember on that fateful day in 2019, I got a call and it was based on recommendation. Someone said, you need the best teacher, nobody else but Elizabeth. And I'm like, what is it? And they're like, it's a tax company in Istanbul. I have never lived in Istanbul. I only fly through Istanbul to Antakya, Hatay.
Yeah.
So that was my third job. And they said it's not a school. It's, you know, this high-rise Levent Mejidekoi buildings.
Yeah.
It's just an invention by the executive board. They need an English teacher to teach ESP, business English. And they said, there is a teacher, she's currently in Nigeria for her PhD, but she has been to Turkey working here twice. And she's well acclimatized. She speaks a little bit of funny Turkish and she's loved by students and I can recommend her. So that's how I officially came back, but not to Antakya, Hatay, now to Istanbul to teach.
There's something interesting, Elizabeth,
business
here.
English. Yes.
Well, of course, teaching business English is not that easy because you should be like an encyclopedia.
I was teaching chartered accountants,
which is not easy at all. I totally understand what you say. Even in previous talk that I had with Ragid, he mentioned something that actually you have clarified it here for us, that the best option for you if you want to get a good position in Turkey is being here in person rather than applying online.
Yeah, yes.
Well, it doesn't mean that it's going to be impossible for you to get positions abroad. I mean, while you're not even based and resided in Turkey, but it is possible.
Yes,
but the number of chances, exactly, the number of chances that when you are here face-to-face, you can go for face-to-face interview, you have a fixed address in Turkey and a phone number, but it increases the chance of success of finding.
Absolutely, I agree. If I hadn't been here previously twice to Turkey, I would not be on my campus in Nigeria, and a recommendation was put forward and I was invited back with accommodation in Istanbul. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice. So,
well, there's a big market for English teachers here. We can say that normally if you are a qualified English teacher, you won't be unemployed here. You can easily get position, but
impossible, yeah.
The point is, I ask Ragid as well, is it possible to make your financial demands end just by teaching and working as a freelance teacher for language institutes and language schools or not?
Is it?
That's my question. Is it possible to make your financial demands end just by focusing and working as a freelance teacher?
I really, personally, my answer to that, I go for the best, you know, that's basically it. I have taught in language schools before, but it's just, you need to go for the big deal.
Sure.
Yes, language schools is good as a second option, as a second job, but I to date, people ask me, how do you do it? You don't have a second job. You're not rushing from work to a language school to catch up. I don't need it because I have a basic job, which financially takes care of all I need.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to advise any English teacher coming abroad for the first time or whatever, don't get carried away. Develop yourself. As a young post-teen girl, 2016, I heard I need to do TESOL. I need to do, keep developing yourself. Despite the fact that I already started PhD, which I recently concluded. Develop yourself, flow with the trend. I basically asked, what else do I need to be ahead, to be employable, to keep being in the business in Turkey? Okay, do this, you need this. So please update yourself.
We all teachers are familiar with this typical and classic question. In professional job interviews, we are always asked as a teacher how you constantly keep yourself motivated. Okay, we have a lot of classic answers for that. Well, I always try to look for, I don't know, creative methodologies in teaching by sticking to multimedia, sort of things like that. Everybody knows that. But in practical, as you said, Elizabeth, for a teacher, it's crucially important to constantly keep him or herself updated, because as a student, a teacher can be easily fossilized if we don't keep ourselves updated and look for not necessarily certificate, new methodologies in teaching. I don't know, mix it with your creativity.
Look at pandemic.
Even the paper that we're working on it, computer assisted language learning.
That's the new deal now in
education. It goes both sides.
Absolutely.
Students and teachers.
Hybrid system of teaching.
Yes,
that
definitely.
Crazy thing that makes you teach half of the class and half online. Divided attention. You need to upgrade yourself as a teacher. Follow the trends. Yeah.
And I try to wrap it up by asking my last question. I know you've got lots of things to do.
Tons.
Imagine I'm a qualified teacher and I want to apply for a good position. By good position, I mean preferably university.
Yes.
Or
which
even
is the
a
big
prominent,
deal.
Exactly, or a prominent school. My question is, well, of course, I am a qualified one. I need all demanded certificate and diploma. But how am I supposed to apply? Is there any specific platform, or no, I should use my connections? I should go in person and submit my CV. Which one do you recommend? Maybe all, huh?
You know, how did you know what I was about to say?
Because that's what I did.
That's what I did as well. I mean, be thirsty for success. Have no limit. I mean, be good with interpersonal relationship. Meet people. I have this organization I go to, they call them internations. You meet different professionals abroad. Exchange business cards, say hello, nicely introduce yourself. Someone might know someone. I mean, words of mouth is powerful. It might look old and traditional, but it still works. It still works. How did I get here? How? I mean, how really did I get to work? Now it's my second year working at the university. It was not recommendation like my previous job. It was my personal. I sat down in the middle of the night. Okay, Google knows everything, right? Give me all the universities in Istanbul.
Speaking of Google, Elizabeth, let me share something with you and our friends. Look, that's the way that I applied for my current position. There is a website named hangiuniversite.com, means which university. And here mainly it focuses on universities of Istanbul. So I went to every single university website.
We did not have this conversation before now.
No.
Same thing.
And then I went directly to the website of that university, and I start sending my CV to two parts. First to human resources, and then to the head of English department. I did that. Even if the chance of success was 1%, I did that. And it worked for me pretty well, because the current position that I have is the one that I obtained, and I got it from, this website, by applying through this website.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Yes. That's it. I also, when I go to the university website, right, I find the key person, the departmental head. I already met our director even before meeting her in person.
Interesting.
I look, okay, who is in charge of this place I'm going to? So aside a general CV to the HR who might not even see it because they have tons of CV, why don't you just click? I clicked on the department I'm looking for.
Find the right person, you mean?
Yes. So if the HR is too busy to see it, the next person, the person in charge of where I'm interested in, that faculty, will definitely see it. And that's what happened. That's how I got to this university. Not from the HR, but from, of course, I got an invitation. My mail was replied. Are you
Yeah.
available for a classroom demo? I said, yes, I was born ready. I'm ready.
Okay.
They
Okay.
just like, here's the location, come. You still
Yeah.
need to be in that location.
Sure. Well, that's a big help, and
Yes.
it increases the chance of success. All right. Any final comment and any final code, any final suggestions, any final trick that you want to share with our friends?
The final thing I just want to say is that the sky is limitless. Please
Yes.
fly,
Yes.
fly. It's
Beautiful.
limitless.
Beautiful.
Fly, keep
Yeah.
applying. Self-motivation, you don't need anyone to cheer you. You know what you want, go for it.
Go for it, because
Never
right is
take no for an
something.
answer. Never take no, never. I'm talking personally now from an experience. I really wouldn't know who wants to apply. It might not be a Turkish person. It might even be an African. Do you understand? So never even let anything limit you. I'm this kind of person. You need to give me a reasonable reason to tell me no. I never take no. When you tell me no, I'm like, are you sure? Why is it a no? Really? Won't you change your mind? I am so persistent in a very, very academic way.
Okay, yes. Wonderful, wonderful.
So, of course, a lot of people will tell you no, but eventually the right one for you will come with a big yes.
So, that's the nature of persistency and perseverance. Yes, if you constantly get yes, 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 then where's the word try behind?
Exactly.
And there's no enjoyment. There's no achievement because you didn't try to achieve it. You were automatically given that opportunity. All right, wonderful. I know that you are going to take care of your ESP classes and you've got a very, very compact schedule. Thank you very much for accepting my invitation and joining.
It's my pleasure. Conference. Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. Have a good day. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.